This is CNN Breaking News.
All right, a suburban Atlanta grand jury could indict the man accused of killing his toddler inside a hot car as early as this afternoon. Justin Harris faces felony murder and second-degree child cruelty charges in the death of his 22-month-old son, Cooper. You might remember the toddler was left in the back seat of his father's SUV in June while Harris was at work. Joining me now on the phone, Pate, a criminal defense attorney. Hi, Paige.
Hey, Carol.
Why did the prosecutor decide to take this to the grand jury?
Well, they were under a tight deadline. In Georgia, if a person is not indicted within 90 days after being arrested, then that person is entitled to a bond as a matter of law. So the district attorney knew that he had to indict the case either this week or next week, or they would have to give Mr. Harris a bond and let him out of jail.
How long has the grand jury been hearing the case?
Well, probably not long. And what's unusual about this case, or actually what's usual about this case and what's different from a grand jury in Ferguson, is that most grand juries only hear the prosecution evidence. In this case, what they're going to do is present the main investigating officer who's going to inform the grand jurors about the investigation, the witnesses they've talked to, the evidence that they've found, and you're not going to hear any defense witnesses. So it doesn't take the grand jury long to just hear from that one detective and then deliberate and make a decision.
There's been so much publicity surrounding this case nationally, but especially locally. Can the grand jury come to some sort of fair decision?
Well, that's interesting, Carol. A lot of people think that if you're going to go to trial, you have the right to a fair and impartial jury, and that's absolutely true, and that's why we occasionally see a change of venue in a high-profile case. But that is not the case with grand juries. There is no constitutional right to an unbiased grand jury. So I completely expect that many of the people who are serving on this grand jury have heard about the case and may already have an opinion even before the evidence was presented.
So your best case as to what might happen later today?
I anticipate we're going to see an indictment. The real question is, what will the charges be? Just because he was arrested on a warrant for felony murder and for child cruelty, that doesn't limit the grand jury. They could indict him for malice murder, which could possibly carry a death penalty sentence, or they could indict him for a lesser charge like manslaughter. So it really is up to the grand jury, but I expect we're going to see some sort of an indictment and some charges later today.
Okay, of course, CNN will keep an eye on it. Pate, thanks so much. I'll be right back.
Thank you, Carol.